The haunted road, what they don't want you to know. Some roads lead you home, some roads lead you nowhere, and some roads never let you leave. Tonight's story takes place on a lonely highway in West Virginia, a road that wasn't always there, and one that no GPS will ever show you. The road that shouldn't exist. It started with Jake Carter, a truck driver who had been on the road for nearly 10 hours. The night was cold, his coffee was gone, and the GPS was glitching, recalculating, again and again. Then, a detour sign. Old, rusted. Old Willow Road, 6 miles. Jake frowned. He had driven this route dozens of times. That road had never been there before. But his GPS had stopped working and he was running low on gas. So he turned, and that's where his nightmare began. No way out. The road was too quiet. No signs, no houses, just dense trees stretching into the night. The headlights cut through the darkness, revealing cracked pavement and faded yellow lines. Then, a figure on the side of the road, standing perfectly still. A woman, wearing a white dress. Jake's breath caught in his throat. Her face was hidden beneath long, black hair. And as he passed, she turned her head too fast, almost snapping toward him. Jake's hands tightened on the wheel. Keep driving. Don't stop. But when he checked the rearview mirror, she was gone. The endless loop. Jake drove faster. Something was wrong. The road wasn't ending. He had been driving for 20 minutes, but the scenery never changed. Same trees, same cracked pavement. And then, the sign appeared again. Old Willow Road, 6 miles. Jake's stomach dropped. That's impossible. He had never turned. He was driving straight, and yet he was back where he started. The radio nose, static, filled the cab. Jake's radio had been off. But now a voice whispered through the static. Turn around. Jake's fingers trembled. Who is this? He shouted. The voice crackled. She's in the back seat. Jake's blood ran cold. His breath stopped. Slowly, he checked the rearview mirror, and there she was. The woman in white, sitting behind him, smiling. The thing that wasn't human. Jake slammed the brakes. His truck skidded to a stop. The woman in the mirror didn't move, didn't blink, just stared at him. Jake threw open the door, ready to run. But the moment he stepped onto the road, the truck's engine roared to life. The headlights flickered. The truck reversed on its own, rolling backward faster toward the woman. She didn't move. And then, she wasn't there anymore, escaping Old Willow Road. Jake jumped back inside, turned the wheel, hit the gas. The trees blurred past him. The road stretched longer, and then, a light. Headlights. Another road. Jake's heart pounded. He burst through the trees, tires screeching onto Route 19. And when he looked back, Old Willow Road was gone. The final warning. Jake never found that road again. No maps showed it. No locals had ever heard of it. But here's the thing. He wasn't the first. Other drivers had spoken of the woman in white, of the endless road that loops forever. Some never made it out. And others were never the same again. So if you're ever driving late at night and your GPS starts glitching, if you see a road that shouldn't be there, don't turn. Because some roads don't lead anywhere. They just keep you. Would you take the turn? If you enjoyed this story, subscribe and hit the notification bell for more terrifying tales. And let me know in the comments, what's the creepiest thing that's ever happened to you on the road? Until next time, drive safe and don't look in the mirror. The terrifying road, the creepiest encounter. Some roads are empty, some roads are forgotten, and some roads should have never been built. Tonight's story is about Larkin Road, a lonely stretch of highway deep in rural Kentucky. A place where people disappear, where headlights flicker, and where something waits in the dark. The road with no end. It started with Evan and Claire, a couple on a weekend road trip. They had been driving for hours. The sky was dark, the gas tank was low, and then the GPS cut out, recalculating, again and again. A road sign appeared, old, rusted. Larkin Road, 3 miles. Evan frowned. That road's not on the map, he muttered. Claire hesitated. Let's not take it. But the highway stretched endlessly ahead. No signs of gas stations, no rest stops. So Evan turned, and that's when they realized they had made a mistake. No way out. The moment their tires hit the cracked pavement, the world felt wrong. The trees along the road leaned inward, their branches tangled like skeletal fingers. The headlights flickered. The radio buzzed with static. Claire reached for Evan's arm. "This place feels off." Evan nodded. The air was too heavy, like they had driven into something they weren't supposed to see. Then, they saw it. A car on the side of the road, old, abandoned, its doors wide open, as if someone had run away. Claire's voice trembled. "Let's turn back." Evan gripped the wheel. But the road behind them, it was gone. Just an endless stretch of trees. The stranger on the road. Then, up ahead, a figure. A man standing in the middle of the road. Tall, still, his face hidden beneath a hood. Evan slowed the car, rolled the window down. "Hey, do you need help?" The man didn't move, didn't speak, just stared. Then, his head twitched, jerked too fast, too unnatural. Claire's grip tightened on Evan's arm. "Drive." But Evan couldn't, because the man wasn't alone. More figures, stepping out from the trees, silent, motionless, watching, surrounding the car. And then, the radio crackled. Through the static, a whisper. "You shouldn't be here." The escape that never happened. Evan slammed the gas pedal, the tires screeched, the figures didn't move, didn't flinch, and then, they were gone. Just vanished. The car sped forward. The road stretched longer, no turns, no exits, just the same road looping endlessly. Claire checked the clock, 3:07 a.m. A minute passed. She checked again. Evan's hands shook on the wheel. "We're trapped." The final warning. Then, the headlights died. The car plunged into darkness. Claire screamed. The whispers grew louder. Then, silence. The lights flickered back on, and they were sitting in an empty parking lot. A gas station. Their car idling. Their gas tank full. The radio whispered one last time, "Don't come back." They looked at each other. Neither of them had any memory of how they got there. But on the hood of the car, a handprint. Too big to be human. The road that watches. Evan and Claire never spoke of that night again. But Larkin Road is still there. Some say it's a road that never ends. Some say it's not a road at all, but something else. Waiting. Watching. If you ever see a road that wasn't on the map, don't take it, because some roads don't lead anywhere. They just keep you. Would you take the turn? If you like this story, subscribe and hit the notification bell for more terrifying tales. And let me know in the comments, have you ever been on a road that didn't feel right? Until next time, drive safe and never take the wrong turn. The unexplained road. You won't believe what happened. Some roads take you somewhere, some roads take you home, and some roads take you somewhere you're not supposed to go. Tonight's story is about Route 46, a desolate stretch of highway in New Mexico. A road with no history, a road with no destination, and a road where people go missing without a trace. The vanishing point. It all started with James Holloway, a truck driver on a late-night haul. He had been driving for hours, the desert stretching endlessly around him. The gas station attendant had warned him, "Stick to the main roads, don't take Route 46, people don't come back." James laughed it off. Ghost stories, urban legends, he didn't believe in any of that. But as he passed the turnoff, his radio crackled with static. Then, a voice. Faint, almost a whisper. "Turn here." James froze. The GPS screen glitched, the display flickered, then rerouted, pointing straight to Route 46. And before he even realized what he was doing, he took the turn. The road that shouldn't exist. The pavement was too smooth, no cracks, no tire marks, like no one had ever driven on it before. The desert around him was silent, no wind, no crickets, no sound at all. And then, his headlights flickered. James shook his head, trying to stay awake. That's when he noticed, the odometer wasn't moving. No matter how far he drove, the mileage stayed the same. Then, the road ahead curved, but when James looked in the rearview mirror, the road behind him was gone, just endless, dark desert. The hitchhiker that wasn't there. Up ahead, in the glow of his headlights, a figure. Standing in the middle of the road, James slammed the brakes. A woman, tall, pale, wearing an old-fashioned dress torn and covered in dust. She didn't move, didn't flinch, just stared. James honked the horn. Nothing. He rolled down the window. "Hey, you okay?" No response. Then she smiled, and in a blink, she was standing right next to his window. James's breath caught in his throat, because her eyes weren't human. They were black, empty, endless, and then she spoke. "You're not supposed to be here." James floored it. No way out. The truck roared forward. The woman didn't chase him, didn't move, just stood in the rearview mirror, watching. The road stretched endlessly ahead. No signs, no turns, just darkness. Then the radio crackled, and through the static, a voice, "You can't leave." James gripped the wheel, his knuckles white. Then a sign appeared. "Welcome to Route 46. But there was something wrong with it. The letters shifted, twisted, and suddenly the sign read, "Welcome back." The time looped. James's heart pounded. He checked the clock. 3:07 a.m. He drove for another hour. Checked again. 3:07 a.m. His stomach twisted. He wasn't moving forward. He was stuck. Then a familiar shape appeared up ahead. The same woman, standing exactly where she had been before, smiling, waiting. James's vision blurred. His eyelids grew heavy. And then, darkness. The escape that never happened. James woke up in his truck, sunlight streaming through the windshield. He was parked in front of a diner. His fuel tank was full. His hands were shaking. He checked the GPS. No Route 46, no record of him ever taking that road. But on his dashboard, a single handprint, too large to be human. Still wet, still waiting, the road that doesn't let you leave. James never spoke about that night. Never took late-night hauls again. But Route 46? It's still out there. Locals say it moves, appears when you're lost, calls to you when you're tired, and if you take the wrong turn, you might never find your way back. Would you drive it? If you like this story, subscribe and hit the notification bell for more terrifying tales. And let me know in the comments. Have you ever been on a road that didn't feel right? Until next time, drive safe and stay on the right path.